Do you ever wake up and feel like life's just happening to you? Like you're stuck on a treadmill, busy, distracted, always moving, but not really going anywhere? Yeah, I've been there. I used to live in that constant state of reaction, putting out fires, chasing to-do lists, letting other people, or worse, my impulses decide how my day unfolded, but something in me snapped or maybe awakened. I asked myself, what if I stopped waiting for the perfect moment to change and just gave myself one honest week? 7 days, 5 simple habits, a Stoic mindset not to chase perfection, but to slow down, center myself, and start showing up with purpose. And let me tell you, the shift was powerful, because these aren't life hacks. They're ancient practices tested by time, powered by intention, and rooted in the wisdom of people who learn to stay calm in chaos and strong in the face of storm. So if you've been feeling scattered, stuck, or stretched thin, stick around, because what you'll hear today might just bring you back to yourself. Grab a warm drink, take a breath. Let's talk, like friends do, about how 5 small habits helped me reclaim my peace, sharpen my mind, and walk a little taller in just 1 week. Welcome to the Stoic path. Habits: 1, waking up early. Habits: 1, waking up early. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Seneca, let me be real with you. I was not a morning person. My bed, it was my comfort zone. The snooze button, my most loyal companion. Mornings felt like survival mode, rushing, scrambling, starting the day already behind, like the world had taken off and I was just trying to catch up. But deep down, I knew something had to shift. Not just my schedule, my state of mind. So I did something uncomfortable. I set my alarm for 5 a.m. and, the first few mornings were rough. Dragging myself out of bed in the dark, questioning every life choice that led to this moment. But I stuck with it, and by the 3rd day, something unexpected happened. I started to fall in love with the quiet. No buzz, no notifications, just stillness, the kind of peace you can feel in your chest. I stretched a little, nothing intense, just enough to wake up my body. Then I journaled just a few thoughts, but it grounded me. And I watched the sunrise, the sky shifting from deep blue to gold, and for the first time in a long time, I felt connected. That moment, right there, taught me the power of being ahead of the day instead of dragged along by it. See, waking up early isn't about squeezing more work into your life. It's about creating space for clarity, for calm for you when you rise before the noise. You meet yourself in a way that's hard to explain. You start the day with choice, not chaos. That's what Stoicism is all about. Self-discipline, not as punishment, but as freedom. So if you're thinking, I could never do that, trust me, I did too. But you don't have to start at 5 a.m. Try waking just 15 minutes earlier than usual. Use that time to breathe. Stretch, journal. Start your day intentionally and watch how everything else begins to shift. Habits. 2, daily. Habits. 2, daily exercise. Exercise. No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. Marcus Aurelius, let's be honest, I used to avoid exercise like it was my full-time job. I always had a reason. Ready, I'm tired, I've got too much to do, I'll start next week. Sound familiar. But at some point, the excuses felt heavier than the workouts ever would, so I made a quiet promise to myself. Move my body every day, just 20 minutes. No pressure, no performance, just movement. Some days, it was a jog through the neighborhood, cold air waking me up like a splash of clarity. Other days, it was yoga. Awkward at first, but slowly turning into something graceful, something grounded, and one day it was dancing like an idiot in my living room. To 90s, hip-hop, zero shame, maximum joy. By day 4, something clicked. I woke up feeling lighter, not just physically, but mentally. My mood lifted, my energy returned. I wasn't snapping at small things anymore. The soreness, it faded. What replaced it was a quiet, growing strength, not just in my body, but in my will. See, exercise isn't about chasing aesthetics or crushing gym goals. Not for me, it became my daily act of self-respect, a ritual of presence, a reminder that I show up. Not because it's easy, but because it matters. There's a moment I'll never forget. I was running. Breath-steady feet, hitting the pavement in rhythm with my thoughts. The world around me faded, and for once it was just me, clear, focused, free. That's what Stoic training is. Discipline not to punish yourself, but to liberate yourself. To say, I am stronger than my excuses. I am in control of my choices. And the beautiful thing, it doesn't have to be intense. Start where you are, stretch for 5 minutes. Take a walk, like your soul needs it, because it probably does. This isn't about becoming a different person, it's about remembering who you are. And nothing reminds you of that. Quite like a little sweat, a deep breath, and the quiet pride of knowing you didn't quit on yourself today before we jump into habits. 3. Take a moment to do me a small favor. Hit like, subscribe, and share this message. Your simple action can help more people who are struggling with this issue find the content they need. Thank you for being a part of. Habits 3. Journaling this habits. 3. Journaling, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus, let's talk about journaling. I used to think it was something only overly reflective people did, curled up in bed with fancy pens, writing dramatic thoughts under candlelight. That wasn't me, so the first night I just stared at the page. What was I supposed to write, some poetic masterpiece, my lunch order? But I pushed past the awkwardness. I gave myself just 10 minutes, no filters, no expectations. I wrote about my day, the good, the bad, the confusing, what made me laugh, what pissed me off, what I was grateful for, even if it was just clean sheets and hot tea. And slowly it started to open. Something up in me, patterns began to reveal themselves. Certain thoughts kept showing up. Certain frustrations, they weren't random. They were messages. I started to notice what drained me and what lifted me, and more importantly, what I was choosing to carry, that I didn't have to. One night, I wrote about a tough day at work. Instead of letting it fester in my head, I laid it out on paper. What happened, what I felt, what was mine to fix and what wasn't. That's when journaling stopped being a task and became a tool. It became my mirror, showing me who I really was. Beneath the noise, it became my compass, gently pointing me back to my values when I started to drift. And you know what else it reminded me? To celebrate the small stuff. I wrote down little victories, moments of kindness, courage, patience, things I would have forgotten. But instead, I got to witness my own growth in real time. That's the power of reflection. It's not about writing perfectly. It's about being honest, raw, real. It's about saying, here I am. This is what I felt. This is what I learned. Epictetus said, not to explain your philosophy, but to live it. Journaling helps you do just that. It brings the inner life into the light, so you can see it clearly and shape it wisely. So if you never tried it, here's your invitation. Just 10 minutes, no judgment, just you and the page. Ask yourself, what did I love today? What did I learn? What do I want to let go of? You might be surprised at what surfaces and how much lighter you'll feel afterward. Habits 4. Mindful eating. Habits 4. Mindful eating should eat and drink just enough to nourish ourselves. Seneca. I didn't used to think about eating. I just ate, usually while checking emails, watching something, or scrolling through my phone like it was my side dish. Meals were just another thing to get through. Rushed, distracted, automatic. But when I paused, when I actually paid attention, everything changed. It started small. I turned off the screens, I cleared the clutter from the table. I took a deep breath before my first bite. No fanfare, no rules, just presents. And what happened next genuinely surprised me. I tasted my food again. Not just the flavour, but the texture, the temperature, the rhythm of chewing, even the sound of a crisp apple suddenly felt satisfying. In a way I hadn't noticed in years, it was like someone turned the volume up on reality, and food became an experience, not just a transaction. And here's the beautiful part. I didn't just enjoy it more, I needed less of it. When you eat mindfully, you hear your body more clearly, you realise when you're satisfied, you catch yourself before you slip into that autopilot. Clean, the plate mode, or emotional eating spiral. That was the deeper shift for me. I started asking, am I really hungry or am I just bored? Stressed, lonely, trying to fill something else? Because food was never the real issue. It was how I was using it as comfort, as distraction, as a reward for surviving another chaotic day. Mindful eating gave me something I didn't expect. Freedom from guilt, from mindless habits, from using food to escape my emotions. Instead of facing them, one morning I sat with a simple bowl of oatmeal. Nothing fancy, just oats, a splash of almond milk, a drizzle of honey. But I slowed down, I breathed, I tasted, and in that quiet, warm moment, I felt peace. I wasn't rushing, I wasn't numbing, I was just there. And it was enough. That's the Stoic way to return to what's essential, to strip away excess, and to remember that nourishment isn't just for the body, it's for the soul too. So if this resonates, try it for one meal. No phone, no distractions, just you and your food. Breathe, chew slowly. Notice everything. Not to be perfect, but to be present. You might be amazed at how something so simple brings you back to yourself. Habits 5, limiting screen. Habits 5, limiting screen. Time. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Seneca spoiler, your phone doesn't count. Let's be real, my phone was always within reach. And more often than not, it was running the show, social media, notifications, news feeds, videos on loop. I was constantly connected and somehow more disconnected than ever. Disconnected from myself, from the present, from peace. I didn't notice how much time I was losing until I tried to take it back. So I set a boundary, just 1 hour a day for non-essential screen time. That's it. At first, it felt like withdrawal. I'd reach for my phone without even realising it. Muscle memory. Mindless. But here's what happened when I didn't give in. I found time, real time. I went for walks, I read pages instead of scrolling posts. I picked up a pen and started drawing again. Badly, freely, I breathed, and the real world started to open up again. Colours felt richer, conversations felt deeper, even silence felt soothing. My sleep got better. My thoughts grew clearer, and that low hum of anxiety that had been buzzing under the surface. It quieted. Limiting screen time wasn't about missing out. It was about waking up. I stopped outsourcing my attention and started reclaiming it. Because in every moment I didn't scroll, I made space for something more meaningful. Solitude, creativity, connection present. That's what Stoicism teaches, that freedom doesn't come from indulgence, but from self-mastery. So if your screen's been your escape, I get it. But maybe you're not looking to escape. Maybe you're ready to return to yourself, your values, your life. Start small. Set a limit. Choose 1 hour where you unplug and just exist. Let your mind wander. Let boredom in. Let clarity come. You might be surprised by what you find when you finally stop scrolling past it. Here's the quiet truth. Most people. Conclusion overlooked. You don't need a perfect plan, a breakdown, or a new calendar to change your life. You just need a moment of decision and the courage to begin 1 week. 5 habits, that's all it took for me to reconnect with what matters. Not to become someone new, but to return to myself, waking up early to greet the day, instead of escaping it, moving my body to honor strength over stagnation, journaling to make sense of the chaos inside eating mindfully, to nourish not numb, and stepping away from screens to see life again. These aren't hacks, they're anchors, simple, grounding. Deeply human Stoicism teaches us we can't control the world, but we can control how we meet it. So start small, one habit, one breath, one choice. Let that be enough if this spoke to you. Subscribe to the Stoic Path, drop a comment. Tell me which habit you're trying. First, let's walk this path together, with presence, with purpose, and with peace. See you on the path.